Hello, and again, good morning, everyone, or maybe good afternoon, wherever you are based in the world. Warm welcome from my side. I'm Svea Becker, and I'm part of the SAP Community team, and I'm your host today. And with me are two great speakers. I have Priti Dinghra and Anupam Rajput with me. I hope I pronounced it correctly. Yeah, both are from SAP, and Priti has a long history with SAP. She is since SAP with SAP since 2001, and has held various positions in development, line and product management. And her current focus includes maintenance planner with emphasis on cloud transformation capabilities and lifecycle management for machine learning scenarios. And Anupam, he is associated as an area product owner for system and landscape planning in the cloud and lifecycle management unit of SAP. And he works on software logistic tools like Maintenance Planner, which enable planning of technical systems, maintenance, including system conversions, updates, upgrades, and new installations. Welcome both. I'm really happy that you're here with me. And I will put my video off for the presentation so that no one will be distracted. And some housekeeping items for attendees. If you want to ask a question, I kindly ask you to use the Q&A functionality at the bottom of your screen when you hover over the bottom Zoom menu. Yeah, there you can see Q&A. You can just write your questions there. You can, of course, also use the chat for any other comment you want to right here, but please choose all panelists and attendees. I stop talking now and hand over to you, Priti.
Thanks. Thanks a lot for the introduction and also helping us in organizing this webinar series. So we are from Cloud and Lifecycle Management area, and this year we are presenting this whole series on different lifecycle management topics. And this is the second session of the series. So in today's session, we want to focus on the latest capabilities delivered with enhanced version of Maintenance Planner and how it can help you navigate your journey towards cloud. Before we dive into the session, disclaimer here. So for most part of the session today, I will be covering functionalities and features which are already available with Maintenance Planner. However, we also want to share the future direction and the vision that we have for Maintenance Planner topic, and those are subject to change. So what we want to cover today is, I'd like to start with a little bit of a business context and the motivation behind the enhanced maintenance planner and what we have delivered with the capabilities that we delivered in July 2020. So we'll start with the motivation, business background. We'll dive into the details of the new features that we have delivered, namely hybrid landscape visualization, product analytics, and we will have a detailed demo of these new features that we have already delivered. I'd like to touch upon the functionality that we have been supporting so far. So Maintenance Planner is primarily a planning tool, and we have been supporting a lot of capabilities to simplify the planning of any kind of software changes. So I'd like to touch upon some of the key capabilities and also point you to some links and blogs, etc., so you can look up and find more information about those. And towards the end, I would like to summarize and share some key takeaways for you. And of course, we have a demo, we have a comprehensive demo of all the functionalities that we will be talking about. Okay, so let's get started with the business context and the motivation behind the new capabilities that we have delivered with the enhanced version of Maintenance Planner. So maybe I repeat here that in July 2020, we delivered enhanced version of Maintenance Planner with some new capabilities. And in this slide here, I'm basically just trying to talk about what is the motivation and the context behind enhancing Maintenance Planner, because Maintenance Planner has been available for our customers and customers have been using this as a software change planning tool for a while now. But we also know from our customers that Maintenance Planner is not just a planning tool for software changes, but many customers and many users are using this during the discovery phase to identify, for example, the current state of their landscapes. So what we try to depict here is maybe a typical transformation journey for a customer. It could look different for different customers. For any customer to start with their transformation journey, they first need to understand where they are, which are the current capabilities that they are running in their landscape. And then based on their business priorities, they need to set their transformation targets. So to do this, basically you need to understand where you are with respect to the different systems which are available in your landscape. And then you need to answer questions like which of these systems will be transformed to S/4HANA, on which capabilities will be then moved to, for example, cloud applications. So to answer these kind of questions, a customer would typically start with the current state of their landscape. And for to understand, to get a better understanding of your current landscape, we provide a new capability. So just to give you an example, hybrid landscape visualization, which can allow all these users here, all these personas here, right from basis admin to an IT architect, business, and so on, to take a look at the landscape pictures or the landscape visualization, which you can create using these new features. So that was a little bit of a background behind why we have enhanced maintenance planner. So as I mentioned, with these new capabilities, maintenance planner is not just limited to, for example, basis admin in your organization, but it can be used by IT architects, IT admins, and even business to understand the needs of transformation changes in your organization. So let's dive into these new features. So first and foremost, we have been supporting a lot of on-premise scenarios. We support all the latest products that SAP delivers, and we also try to simplify the overall planning process, and we continue to strengthen these capabilities. With Enhanced Maintenance Planner, we offer capabilities that you see here. We will take a look at them in a while. Um, so this is the home page of Maintenance Planner, which I wanted to show. So you can see that it's a new look and feel. So this is a cloud service was running on SAP Cloud Platform that we have delivered. These new features are delivered with this cloud service that you see here. On this homepage, you can see some of the tiles which you are familiar with, which have been available with the previous version of Maintenance Planner, but you also see some new capabilities like hybrid landscape visualization and product analytics. We also have cloud integration automation service that you can trigger from here. So let's take a look at what these features are in a little bit more detail. But before that, a little bit on the onboarding of the new features. So as I mentioned, these new features are delivered as cloud service, which is running on SAP Cloud Platform in our data center in Frankfurt, Germany on AWS. So which means that you need to have your data copied to AWS in order to use these new features. So for that, you need to trigger an onboarding request, and it's really not a complicated process. You just need to raise a ticket, and then we will enable these features for you. Up here, you can see the note number, which describes the onboarding process and also what are the steps that you need to do and why you need to do those steps. So you can refer the note here. So before we dive into the details of the new features, let's take a look at where we are today or what we supported with the classical version of Maintenance Planner and the enhanced version of Maintenance Planner. So with the original version of Maintenance Plan, sorry, just need to, yeah. So with Maintenance Planner, we have been supporting all kinds of maintenance planning scenarios. We support upgrades, upgrade, and so on. With the new and enhanced version of Maintenance Planner, we basically want to provide a visually guided experience for our customers and our users. So that's the direction that we are taking. And we've already taken a first step in that direction with the hybrid landscape visualization feature. So far, we have been supporting on-premise use cases. So we have all kinds of maintenance scenarios, as I mentioned, supported. Going forward, we want to continue supporting these on-premise scenarios, but also the hybrid use cases is our focus. So as an example, in the enhanced version of Maintenance Planner, you can already see the tenant details along with your on-premise data. So that's an example of how we want to enhance Maintenance Planner support in context of hybrid use cases. We have a lot of integrated utilities in Maintenance Planner. We have integrated with the a lot of discovery tools like SAP Transformation Navigator, Fiori App Reference Library, Innovation Discovery, and so on. Going forward, we want to further invest in that direction and further bridge this gap between the business and the technical side of the process. Lastly, the maintenance planner we have been using has been running on SAP Support Portal, but the new application is a cloud service which runs on SAP Cloud Platform. So with this, now let's take a look at how we can use these hybrid landscape visualization pictures and what are the use cases. So we will take a deeper look at what I mean by these landscape visualization, what I mean by these landscape pictures. But I think you understand that it's basically a representation of your landscape in a pictorial format. So that's what we mean by hybrid landscape visualization. So how can these pictures be used? It can be used as an IT planning tool. So as I mentioned, all the roles involved here need a transparency, need to know basic, uh, have an understanding of the current state of your landscape. And with these pictures, you can get an understanding of your landscape, which are the systems you are running, how these systems are connected, and so on. For example, you could create a picture of your dev quality and production kind of a landscape, or whichever constellation you're running, for you to understand the transport routes in your landscape. So that is one example, and you can create any kind of pictures that you want. You can create regional representations of your landscape in case you're running SAP landscape in multiple regions and so on. So there are other examples that we mention here. We are also working towards providing something that we call reference landscape, which is basically to provide guidance on setting up these integrated solutions and so on. So these are some examples that we know from our customers where these landscape pictures can be handy for our customers. We also have cloud integration automation service, so which can be triggered from maintenance planner. Maintenance planner already has sort of like a diagram representation of the different components involved in cloud integration automation service. Now, you can assign systems and tenants and trigger the cloud integration automation service process also from maintenance planner. We'll take a look at what CIS means in a while from now. So these were some examples that we see from our end, different use cases which are supported with hybrid landscape visualization. We would in fact like to learn from you, so do reach out to us with your use cases or the feedback on the current functionality that we have on hybrid landscape visualization. Okay, so now this is an example of the hybrid landscape visualization picture that I was referring to, and I'd like to really briefly talk about a few features, but we will take a look at these features in a little more detail in the demo. So over here, what you can see are a few systems which are connected, and you can see they are marked as S4HANA systems, there are ERP systems, and there are cloud systems also, which are represented in this picture. And you can also see that there are connections between these systems, and those connections are either represented as RFC or HTTP and so on. On the left hand side, we have what we call the library. So this is where you have your systems, and you can also see that we also now show the cloud systems, all the tenants available in your landscape in this library here. In the center here, we have the canvas. This is where you would draw the picture. And then over here, you can see some properties of this landscape picture. So how can you create these kind of pictures? So very briefly, you can do the manual creation. So what that means is that you can select these systems and then add them, and you can define these dependencies between these systems. So you have to define these dependencies across the systems which are there in your picture here. The other way of creating a landscape picture is to also, you could upload a spreadsheet, and then this would show up like this in your in maintenance planner. You can also create landscape pictures based on the transaction data or even your system tracks. So these are the three possible ways in which you can create the landscape picture. The other feature that I spoke about is the product analytics. So this is basically the capability which allows you to, which gives you a comprehensive overview of your landscape. So what you can see here with this capability, you can take a look at different products which are provisioned in your landscape. You can also find out of maintenance product versions in a selected time period for a more proactive planning of maintenance in your landscape. And we also show the third party add-ons available in your landscape. So some example here, we provide this kind of a chart view, which gives you a quick overview, the total number of products available, the on-premise product, cloud products, and so on. And then you can drill into the details of these products. So you can filter, you can, for example, in this example here, only see your cloud products which are available in your landscape and so on. And as I mentioned, you can also identify the out of maintenance product version in a selected time frame that you can see here. Another example of how these functionalities could be used. So from this view where you see the out of maintenance product versions, you can go to the system. So you would see a list of all the systems where the product version which is going out of maintenance is running. You can also navigate directly to the landscape pictures. So that's the example that we have seen here. And then once you reach this landscape picture, you can trigger any kind of changes based on the information that you have seen here. So these were two capabilities that I mentioned. Apart from that, we also have cloud integration automation service. So this functionality has been available for some time, and now it's also integrated in the homepage of new maintenance planner, the enhanced maintenance planner. I'd like to briefly just give you a quick overview of this. We also have a detailed session of this planned in a few weeks from now. You can look that up on the SAP community page. So what is cloud integration automation service? So this functionality is intended to provide a simpler and a faster way to integrate SAP cloud solutions with other SAP cloud solutions and on-premise solutions. And this can be triggered from maintenance planner. So what this would mean is that the user would then start this from the homepage of maintenance planner. You can see a tile up here. And after you have entered this functionality, the next step for the user would be to select the scenarios. So we are supporting different scenarios that the user would have to select. And once the user has selected the scenarios, the next step is to select all the systems and tenants which are involved in this integration process. Maintenance planner has all your on-premise data, and it has all your tenants data. So basically you can select all that information in maintenance planner and then generate a workflow. Now this workflow basically consists of different tasks. So there are automated tasks, and then there are few manual tasks as well, where the instructions for the steps are provided. And then from maintenance planner, you would navigate to this application. This is the cloud integration automation service application, which is running on SAP Cloud Platform. And this is your inbox. And this is where the user can see the different tasks which are assigned to a user. User need to perform these tasks in order to complete the integration configuration. So this was very briefly cloud integration automation service. So as I mentioned, you can sign up, you can register for the session, which is going to take place in a few weeks from now. Okay, so this was about the new features that we have delivered. We talked about hybrid landscape visualization. We talked about product analytics. We saw the new theme. We will see all of this in the demo in a few minutes from now. But before that, I wanted to touch upon the planning capabilities, the simplified planning that maintenance planner offers. So over here, what I'm trying to convey, that maintenance planner supports all kinds of maintenance scenarios. So we support installation. The up-to-date installation functionality has been available for a while of all kinds of applications, of all kinds of systems. So we have ABAP, we have Java, we have S4HANA, and so on. We also support Fiori installation. We support updates, upgrades. We support conversion. In fact, maintenance planner plays a key role in the whole conversion process. We have a lot of integrated processes and utilities. We'll take a look at some of them in a while. We have a lot of advanced capabilities that I'd like to touch upon. And now we also offer these hybrid use cases that we support. We saw product analytics, landscape visualization, and cloud integration automation service. So the intention of this slide is to give you an overview of all the major functionalities that Maintenance Planner delivers. Now let's take a look at some of them in a little bit more detail. So transition to S/4HANA, this is one of the critical topics for our customers, and Maintenance Planner has been supporting this. And we have a comprehensive functionality. We support installation, conversion, upgrades, all kind of paths are supported. Maintenance Planner is basically your first point to start with the conversion process. So you can start with the pre-checks in Maintenance Planner. And for that, you do not even require S/4HANA licenses. So you can use Maintenance Planner to do these pre-checks of add-ons and business functions. As I mentioned, we support all kinds of upgrades, updates, and we have been simplifying it. We have been trying to address all the pain points that we hear from our customers. One of the capabilities that I wanted to talk about is the iterative planning. So in Maintenance Planner, you can combine a lot of changes in a single transaction. Just to give you an example, you could start with maybe an update and upgrade. And if you would like to maybe add installation of an add-on, all of that can be included in a single transaction. And the result would be a consolidated stack XML that can be used to apply both the changes or all the changes that you have included in a planning cycle. We have extensive support for add-on transition. We'll take a look at this in a little bit more detail. Up-to-date installation. So as I mentioned, we support the installation planning in Maintenance Planner. And what this means is that you can plan installation on any chosen stack level. And the process would then allow you to download a consolidated stack XML, which will be first used by SWPM to install, and then the same stack XML can be used by SUM to update the system on the chosen stack level. So that was a brief on up-to-date installation. Over here, you can find the link to my blog, which describes the process in much more detail. So we are supporting all SAP products. We support all new SAP products. So BW for HANA is supported. New installation of BW for HANA can be planned in Maintenance Planner. Also, pre-checks and conversion can be planned using Maintenance Planner. We also support smaller changes without using the stack XML. So you can plan only for Java patches, or you can plan only for the HR packages with these functionalities. Now, I wanted to talk about the integrated utilities and processes and advanced capabilities. I'll briefly touch upon these, but for most of these, I have provided links here that you can look up. So first one here is the SAP Fiori Apps Planning. So this is where Maintenance Planner integrates with the discovery tool, Fiori App Reference Library. So as a user, you would start in Fiori App Reference Library with, you would select multiple applications from there. You can select one or more applications in Fiori App Reference Library. And from there, you would then navigate to Maintenance Planner to plan the software changes. And Maintenance Planner provides comprehensive planning here of all the components involved. So you could plan for your front end server, you can plan for your backend, and you can also plan for the HANA components. The process results in a consolidated stack XML, which contains all the changes, and it can be used for all the systems involved. Again, up here, you can see a link to my blog, which has all the information available the step-by-step way. We have a lot of integrated utilities. So for example, while planning any kind of software changes, you can download the side effects report, you can download security notes, you can even copy the stack XML for identical systems. So these applications were available as a standalone application, but now they are integrated into Maintenance Planner, so you can use them while doing your planning. Another example is the Upgrade Dependency Analyzer in Maintenance Planner. I already touched upon this. So we integrate with the different discovery tools, Transformation Navigator, Innovation Discovery, and also SAP Fiori App Reference Library. Cloud Integration Automation Service. So it can be triggered from Maintenance Planner directly. We support all new products in SAP. So installation of container-based system is also supported in Maintenance Planner. You can find more information with the link provided here. Okay. Now, coming to this very important topic about correction of system information. So if a system is marked erroneous and is being indicated in the red status in maintenance planner provides a guided procedure to verify the system manually. So you need to answer a few questions, and at the end of this, maintenance planner will allow you to create a corrective file or the CC file, the CISI file. So this corrective file needs to be used by SUM to correct the system information on the system. Our recommendation is to always plan the correction along with maybe a maintenance event so that you can generate a consolidated stack XML. And when you apply that stack XML, it will first do the correction of the information of the system information, and then it will do the update or upgrade. You can find more information here with the links which are provided here. Okay, now coming to the very important topic of system conversion. So there are various steps that you can see here, and over the years, past few years, the process is much more streamlined, and maintenance planner plays a key role in this whole S/4HANA conversion planning. So we offer a guided procedure for comprehensive planning. So what that means is that you can choose your transition path. You can start with new installation or conversion, or upgrades within the S/4HANA family of products is also supported. So you can do that in maintenance planner. You can, so most importantly, maintenance planner does these checks, these pre-checks, as I mentioned. So maintenance planner checks the add-ons which are installed in your systems and also the business functions. And as I mentioned, you don't even require S/4HANA licenses to run these pre-checks. So our recommendation is to get started with these pre-checks as early as possible. And then, of course, maintenance planner allows the download of archives. It generates the stack XML for your backend and your front end system. And we also support extensive add-on handling. We will take a deeper look at this in a while. We also allow uninstallation of unsupported add-ons. So it's possible that add-ons which are installed in your systems are not supported in the target version of S/4HANA that you selected. Then in that case, one option could be, if the add-on is not in use, to uninstall these add-ons, and this information and this process is also supported in maintenance planner. We also check third-party add-ons, and this is really critical because this could be a time-consuming process if it's not done well in advance. So these are some categories that we support in maintenance planners, and let's move on to see how it looks like in the system. So this is how an add-on pre-check result would look like. So on the top here, you can see that maintenance planner has identified an add-on. In this case, this is the Fiori time recording add-on, which is not supported in the S/4HANA target version selected. And in this case, has also indicating that this add-on could be uninstalled. If you go through with this process, then while the SUM execution, this add-on would be uninstalled. And then there are some important links like this which are provided, so you can look up more information directly from maintenance planner. Then you can also see here that the third-party add-ons are very clearly indicated here, and also the partner add-ons are identified, and the certification status is also very clearly indicated here. There are further links to get more information. And here at the bottom, you have the results of the business function checks as well. Another example of add-on support in maintenance planner is the the normal update and upgrade. So you can combine an add-on uninstallation with an update and upgrade, and then when SUM is executed, these add-ons would then be uninstalled. So this is pretty much what I wanted to share from my side, and now I'd like to hand it over to Anupam for a demo.
Thanks, Priti. So I'll start sharing my screen.
And by the way, while you are preparing, Anupam, Priti, I have posted here in the chat the link to the topic pages as well as the tags. So dear attendees, you can just click on the links and then you can follow the tags so that you will be get updated when new content arrives in the SAP community.
Great, thanks a lot. I hope you can hear me and can see my screen as well.
Yes, we can.
Great. So thanks a lot, Preeti, for the introduction and also the details. Just continuing on what Preeti had shared about the enhanced maintenance planner onboarding node. Um, as most of you would be using the maintenance planner on the support portal. Um, when you launch the application in the support portal, you are informed of the enhanced maintenance planner onboarding, and you have, let's say, the onboarding node, which basically is a link available there in this particular information. From there, you could follow this specific node. It talks about what exactly is the details of onboarding. But in principle, it requires you to create a BCP ticket, a ticket on XXSER, SAP, SMP, CONP. And this is processed by our support colleagues, and that enables you to move to the new enhanced maintenance planner. You will need to provide the customer numbers for which the onboarding has to be performed, and the onboarding is actually executed for those specific customer numbers. Once the onboarding has been completed, when you log into the application again, you will be redirected to the enhanced maintenance planner here. It has pretty much the same features as the support portal application, with a new Fiori 3 theme as such, and some new capabilities as Preeti talked about. And in this demo, specifically next 20 minutes, I would like to take you through a couple of capabilities around hybrid landscape visualization, product analytics, and a part of SAP S/4HANA guided procedure. Um, there are some, so when you have the possibility to check up the details of what exactly is the help, let's say, links of just a kind of a site map of the application, which is basically a representation of the tiles here. And if you are on this, let's say, new enhanced capability, you also have a possibility to switch the interface back to the old one, classical user interface, in case you need to do so. Once, let's say, you've onboarded yourself, and then you would want to first start with, let's say, the landscape picture creation itself. I would like to first show you a target picture. And in this next 15 minutes or 10 minutes, I would like to just basically enable you with information of how do you get to this target picture. Yeah, so I've just tried to create a sample picture which depicts, let's say, a couple of success factors systems: production and test environment, a production environment, a development environment, a quality assurance environment consisting of S/4HANA and ERP systems connected with each other due to some reason, let's say. And it's basically, how do you get this landscape picture? Yeah, so just take it in this sense that, what exactly are the tools available for you to actually paint these landscape pictures? And once they are available, what can you do with them? Yeah, and let's try to first create this landscape picture. So the first step to actually creating this is to click on this hybrid landscape visualization tiles, which takes you to the landing page of all the landscape pictures which are created for your customer number. You could create a landscape picture by clicking on create landscape, which gives you the basic, let's say, information here about what's the name of the picture and the description. There is also a possibility, as Preeti mentioned, to onboard some of the data which is created on the support portal maintenance planner, like transaction tracks between a specified date range, and then basically proceed ahead with the collection of systems which have been identified, and then you connect it as such. So let's call this demo for, all right, and then click on create. It takes us to the canvas, or the yeah the feature where we are going to create this specific landscape picture. It is, let's say, divided into three sections. On the left hand side, we have the library, which consists of a list of all the on-premise systems, the cloud systems, and some of the entities which you might have tagged as reusable. The details of the reusable part is also there in the user guide, just to how do you do it and what exactly is the meaning. This is the canvas where you paint it, and then on the right hand side are the properties of the corresponding landscape picture. I would first, let's say, start by selecting a set of S4HANA systems. So there were some 3 S4HANA systems, ZS1, S4D, S4Q, and S4P. So I would select these and add them to the canvas. I have the possibility to add them to a group or create a group, but I would prefer not to do so right now. And when I add them to the canvas, the details of basic details about what type of system it is, which host it's installed on, etc., are pre-populated here. If you want to see the details of a specific node, some of the details about what's the verification status, when was it last replicated, information about the system itself, like which software components are present in this particular system, what's the support package, etc., are depicted here. That's one, let's say, example of an on-prem system. And then I'll also go ahead and extend my collection to the ERP systems, which I want to add to this specific landscape. So that's ERD, ERQ, and ERP, and I add them also to the canvas. And I primarily know from the name that, yeah, the D ones are for development, Q ones are for quality, P ones are for production. And on the other side, there is also the possibility that I have the, let's say, the cloud systems, which are basically cloud tenants, which have been provisioned for your, let's say, usage. So it could consist of S4 cloud systems or success factors or CPI, etc. Those are the tenants which we fetch from the SAP internal repository, which contains this information about the cloud systems. And once they are available here, we can also add them in the same manner in the landscape representation here. But essentially, you are having a collection. And once you have this collection, we are basically trying to work with it in a manner that we are able to connect these and then paint the picture as such. So I would just pick up a couple of them for the demo that these are success factors, let's say tenants, so to say. And once this is available, the details of the tenants are also getting populated meanwhile. So when I see that these are the two entities, TC4STM, which is the external, let's say, identifier of this specific system. We also try to fetch the details of those individual systems and present it in this. So in a while, we will also get this specific, let's say, detail about what's the URL for accessing that specific tenant and what's the, let's say, product which is installed on it, and what exactly is the, let's say, product version which is basically installed on this as well. Yeah. So now we have a list, a collection, which is basically available in this canvas, and it's about how do I connect with these with each other. Yeah. So first thing which I would like to do is I would like to create a group of all the development systems together, of all the productive systems together, and of all the quality assurance systems together. So I click on the individual systems and I control click on the other system which is present here in the development track, and I add them to a group. So I can then specify a new group which I call development, and basically it gets added to one group. Similarly for quality, so I add S4Q and ERQ into a group which is then created here. And I then add S4P and ERP to the production group, which is also created manually. I can also rename, let's say, some of the tenants. So for example, I can edit this node and maybe give it a name which is understandable. So I'll call it test. Yeah. And similarly for the other one, I can edit this and call it SAP. All right. And there is also the possibility that I can change the shape of this specific cloud system. So just going into the visual part, maybe making it look a little different from the on-prem systems. So this is how let's say I do it. And now I would like to add the connections here. So first, let's go into the direction of clicking on this add or manage connections, where I can specify that the success factors production environment is connected with, let's say, the S4P. Similarly, the S4P system is connected with the ERP system. Yeah. So, and when I update the connection, the corresponding canvas which is present, it starts arranging itself. So these are again SAP UI5 controls called the network graph. And the network graph basically arranges itself in the best possible manner for representing the picture. We don't have a possibility to drag and drop the entities here. So that's one limitation, but the graph itself tries to arrange it in a manner which is friendly to a certain extent. Of course, there are certain cases in which you would want to represent it in a different manner. But yeah, we are trying to check what exactly is the technical possibility there. Now I go to success factors and I basically have the queue and the S4 queue connected with the ERQ. So that's basically present here. And also the success factors test environment, let's assume that this is also connected with the development environment. And the development as for HANA system is connected to the ERD system. Yeah. So I update this specific, let's say, landscape picture, and it starts coming up in this format. And I can in the middle save it for just ensuring that whatever work has been done is now encapsulated and sent to the database. Here now I have the possibility to further enrich, let's say, the visual representation of the canvas. So I can click on a specific system, and maybe I would like to identify all the ERP systems with one color code, all the production S4 or rather S4 HANA systems with another color code. I have a possibility to do that using the categories, but what does that category mean and how will it be represented? The best way to do it is that we have a settings per landscape picture. So you could basically give it a name. Yeah. For example, I would like to classify all my ERP systems in this manner. And I would like to all have my SAP S4 HANA systems with this color. Yeah. So if I save this, then I have a possibility to visually further enhance it in a manner that I can just select these systems and update the color code for the same. Similarly, for the S4, I can do the same here, yeah, by selecting them individually. So now, once this is done, then I have, let's say, a possibility to, just use the legends as well. So once I have, let's say, done this, and I just would like to remove the properties part here, I can basically, once this is created, I can select on these individual nodes to actually highlight the systems accordingly here, yeah. Also, with respect to connections, the case is that we have a possibility to further enrich the connection type. Right now, we have specified custom, but there are some more like remote function calls, or there's a product maintenance dependency, or an HTTP connection, or a transport route, etc. But this is something which currently is manually defined. There are, let's say, steps which we are also taking to create that first cut or first collection of systems with some basic dependencies already taking into account the existing maintenance planner data to a certain extent. Some of the aspects around identification of systems in terms of what's the production system, what's the development system. So this information is available in the support portal, and we are working on also getting the same so that this is then tagged here itself and we don't really have to do it further. Yeah. There is also an additional capability that you can enrich the attributes of the, let's say, systems here. So some of them are coming from the support portal itself, the information which is exchanged by LMDB. There could also be some additional attributes, like, for example, if you want to basically give information about who is the system owner for the same, and you can add that and that starts showing up here, and you can do it also for others. You could also create some custom, let's say, attributes which are depicting where exactly the system is or which regions of the globe is this system catering to, and so on and so forth. Yeah. And once this picture gets created, you can then go back to the landscape view. So when we get back to the list of all the landscape pictures, when you go back into this, let's say, representation, you get to see a kind of a read-only view to begin with. And then you have the possibility to, let's say, edit it if at all you want to do it. Yeah. So That is one such feature. Now, what do you do with these landscape pictures once you have painted it? Yeah, uh, there are a couple of things that we have tried to, let's say, put together in terms of a storyline, which can be used to utilize these landscape pictures. And one such storyline is the product analytics capability, which is our next focus topic for today. And I'll come back to the HLV as well, the landscape visualization. Here we, as Priti mentioned, there are 3 of these queries. Yeah, so you could get to see which product versions are or which products are basically registered in your system landscape and have been replicated to the support portal. So maintenance planner was already receiving this information about which product versions are installed in the systems of your landscape. And what we have tried to do is put together a feature which gives an impression to you at a high level, which products you're working with, what are the versions of the products, and some more details about some information related to the product availability matrix, etc. Yeah, so this is one part about provision products. Another part is about out of maintenance product versions. So you could select, let's say, a time frame, next 1 year, next 2 years, and it presents you the details of which product versions are going out of maintenance. You can download the same here as well and get to see some more details about which landscapes contain this particular product version, which systems contain this specific product version as well. Yeah, and this is basically this button here. So you get to see the landscapes and info links. The systems also is present. Some glitch looks to be. And there is then the third-party add-on software. So it kind of presents a consolidated list of all the third-party components which are installed in your systems, some which SAP doesn't have any information about, some which are third-party, which are verified by the Integration Certification Center, and some where SAP is a vendor-branded reseller. Going back to the product versions or provision products and connecting it to the hybrid landscape visualization of how do you use this. So for example, I have SAP S/4HANA as one of the products which is installed in my landscape. There are 2136 systems which are containing this specific product. So I can check which all product versions are installed in my landscape here. It gives me a list of all the, let's say, systems, number of systems alongside it. It will be the number of product versions. Since I'm within SAP, all the internal systems, or dummy systems which have been created, these are the ones which are coming up here. The system which is present in the landscape visualization is an SAP S/4HANA 1809 system, and I would like to check which all landscapes contain this SAP S/4HANA 1809 system. So I can see here that there are different landscape pictures which have been created by someone which contain this specific product version installed in this. Yeah, and I just short while back created the demo for community webinar here. I can go to that, but besides that, there's also the way in which you can check which all systems have SAP S/4HANA installed in it, 1809 that is, and also some info links about SAP S/4HANA 1809, which is present here. Yeah. I will then move to the demo for community webinar. So I navigate from the product analytics to the hybrid landscape visualization, this picture which contains these SAP S/4HANA 1809. So as you can see, the SAP S/4HANA 1809 product version is installed in these 3 systems, and they are the ones which have been highlighted. And if it is the scenario that in a user story, you would want to maybe move from here and plan for a change. So that's also one more exit point that we have created from a landscape picture here. So one of the entry points which I showcased was the product analytics, where you analyze your product landscape to a certain extent at a very high level. And then from there, you navigate to the landscape visualization where you see which all product versions are present in which systems. And then from there, you have the possibility to actually select a specific system and also plan for changes on top of it. Yeah. So if you click on plan change, it takes you to the stack XML generation guided procedure. If you click on plan for SAP S/4HANA, it takes you to the SAP S/4HANA guided procedure. So that means that if I click on plan for SAP S/4HANA here, I would be navigated to the guided procedure for SAP S/4HANA, in which case I get to see the S4D system already selected. I can specify the target. So let's assume that we are upgrading the SAP S/4HANA system from 1809 to SAP S/4HANA 2020. I can select the corresponding stack. And then basically it's the next step, which is primarily already existing in the maintenance planner, that you can plan for an upgrade or a conversion or an update of the existing system. At this step, it performs a basic check of the add-ons and the business functions, even for the case of upgrade. And then if the checks are successful, we are taken to the additional system selection screen. I can specify the co-deployment of the Fiori front-end server with this specific system. And I go to the last step, which is about the summary, which just gives you the information about the add-ons which are present. Of course, from here, we can go to the continue planning, the next steps of the guided procedure, which is basically the stack XML generation. And that's something which I would, not take or not cover in this demo, because that's something which is an existing feature of the application. Of course, with the enhanced version of the maintenance planner, the basic idea is that it gets presented with a slight change in the look and feel of the application, Fiori 3, with some changes in the icons as well. And the calculation guided procedure is still referring to the existing stack XML generation. So that's still there. However, it is basically now running on the cloud platform as such. Yeah, and this is one exit point of the hybrid landscape visualization and then the product analytics. The third part, which is about the cloud integration automation service, which is be covered in another, let's say, session as Priti mentioned, is another, let's say, part which is depicted here, but we'll keep it for the next time. So yeah, that's pretty much it, which I wanted to cover from the demo point of view. And I would like to hand it over to Priti for further details. Yeah.
Thanks, Anupam. So I'd quickly like to okay, share my screen and talk about key takeaways. But before that, just a quick look at a blog which I released recently. So what we saw in the demo, if you'd like to know more details, you want to see more examples of the landscape visualization, you can see this in this blog up here. So not taking too much time, let me just quickly jump to the key takeaways so that we have some time for Q&A at the end. So with enhanced version of Maintenance Planner, we support both on-premise scenarios as well as hybrid use cases. The new UI and the theme is delivered as SAP Cloud Platform application, as we saw. We saw product analytics, which offers comprehensive overview of your hybrid landscape. It provides all the information that you need to make the right decisions. There are advanced capabilities to identify proactively and start planning for product versions which are going out of maintenance. With hybrid landscape visualization, as we saw, you can visualize all the connected systems, and we saw a detailed demo of that. We also talked about the cloud integration automation service a little bit. We plan to continue further expanding in this direction, and we are evaluating some of the features such as dependency handling and landscape integration using these landscape visualization. Another topic that we are evaluating currently is the patch planning and also the new installation planning. We talked about the onboarding process for enhanced version of Maintenance Planner. We are also planning a data center move so that you will have a seamless onboarding experience to the enhanced Maintenance Planner. So these were the key takeaways. And with this, I think we should jump to the Q&A now. I already saw a few questions there.
Yes, this is great. If you can have a Oh, someone answered this already. Maybe you can just repeat the question and read it and answer that for all of the attendees.
Sure, yeah. So the question was, if you move to the enhanced maintenance planner, does this mean we cannot use the current maintenance planner? And that's not the case. So if you onboard yourself to the enhanced functionalities of the maintenance planner and you are getting to the new user interface and also the capabilities around landscape visualization, product analytics, you still have the possibility to switch the interface back to the old one, which is running completely on support portal. And with that, you would still be able to, let's say, go back to the old UI. From there as well, you have a possibility to move to the new innovations whenever you intend to do so. So that's basically the case.
Perfect, thank you. And if there are any more questions, you have different possibilities. You can use the Q&A Zoom functionality here and write your question, or you can also speak. If you raise your hand, you can hover over your name in the participant lane, then you raise your hand and we can unmute you. And as you have seen here, there were a lot of links in the chat. So maybe you scroll the chat and check out the blog post, for example, about the community call series, we are currently having with Priti and her team, and also the link to the software logistic topic page and the tags, and also, of course, the community profile links, so that you can follow Priti and Anupam in the SAP community. Well, and if there are no more questions, then I would say we close the call for today. Thanks very much for being part of SAP Community Call. You want to say something, Priti?
Yes, in fact, there is a question in the chat posted.
Ah, a private one.
Yeah, yeah. So no, no,
Ah,
it's to
no,
all
there I,
panelists.
oh, I'm so
Yeah.
sorry. I posted so many links I overread. All right, then I hand over to you.
Yeah. So the question is, when I paint my landscape with dependencies, could this be used for an upgrade, dependency planning for upgrade, or do I have to create the system tracks and dependencies before or after as well? So,
Yeah, right now, the case is that in the current state of the application, we are not having integration of the connections which you draw in the landscape picture with the upgrades that you're actually performing. But in the next few months, that is what we are also trying to do. That is that we are integrating the tracks functionality of the maintenance planner also with the landscape visualization, not just the tracks, but also one more capability that we basically provide, that's about upgrade dependency analyzer integration. So those are the two steps which we are taking also to enrich the enhancement or this new enhancement which has been provided. Uh, right now, the basic, let's say, step which we have taken is to give this possibility to get a live view of what's registered in the maintenance planner and give a visual representation of the systems and have an entry point which is from product analytics or a direct one, and an exit point which is that you go from here to the planning procedure. And as I said, just the two parts which is, let's say, a follow up, which is one, enablement of the track creation directly from the landscape visualization, as well as utilization of the upgrade dependency analyzer dependency statements to give that information in this picture itself. So those would be some things which we are planning to do.
Okay, thank you. We have two more questions in the Q&A. For example, Mark is asking, are there any preconditions or prerequisitions for the onboarding of the new maintenance planner apart from raising a ticket?
This is described in the SAP note itself. So one thing which has to be taken care is that right now with the cloud platform, so since the technical layer for us to host our application is SAP Cloud Platform CFEU 10, which is running on Amazon Web Services. And in the support contracts, if you require your data only to be available with support portal, then you might consider whether to go to maintenance planner on cloud platform or not. So the details of that are there in this particular note. And also there is a linked frequently asked questions, which just describes this specific part as well. So I would request you to take a look at that. However, in general, we've seen the trend of the customers, that is that they are onboarding to the new maintenance planner. And basically, once, as Preeti mentioned, once the data center topic is addressed, then this onboarding itself will be something which we might kind of remove as well. So that is something which we are discussing internally. But in principle, the threshold for actually onboarding yourself to the new maintenance planner is not that high. It's a decision which you also have to take in your organization. And what exactly is this decision? It's basically whether you want to also let the maintenance planner data, which is systems, products, product versions, etc., move to maintenance planner on support on the cloud platform. That's one.
Thank you. And we are 1 minute over the time, but I think we can cover one more question.
Yeah, sure.
And with respect to out of maintenance product versions, can this list all the systems under a particular customer number listed, which will go out of maintenance in, say, about 1 year period? Or this has to be checked manually by the customer?
So this list is actually it's within the boundary of your customer number. If you are logged in with your S user, then it shows you the product versions which are going out of maintenance for your customer number. Yeah, so to which your S user is associated to. So that is it. In basic sense, it's something which is customized for your S user, right? And then the second part of it is that this time duration is something which is flexible. You can select, and then you can get to know what exactly is the next step there. But in principle, this is very specific to your landscape.
Okay, so I hope this answer the question, and thanks very much, Priti. Thanks very much, Anupam, for having been part of the SAP Community Call series. I'm looking forward to the next one who are coming, and I wish everyone a great rest of the day, and thanks for tuning in. Bye.
Thank you.